Hello guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome to another video. Today we're playing the HMCS Haida on the map Trident in the Epicenter game mode. Tier 5 matchmaking and an objective-based game mode, what more could you ask for? We are really in Haida's comfort zone here. Before we start, I want to say thank you for all the new subs and welcome to my channel. Once again, it was the legendary Sailing Robin who brought the majority of you guys here, and I'm really grateful for that, but in the end it is you, the viewer, who decides to hit the subscribe button because you hopefully enjoy my content, and it's really great to read all your positive comments and see the channel grow. On a side note, it's a shame you can't display the Royal Canadian Navy flag in replays, because I prefer it over the Commonwealth flag, but it is what it is. Let me show you my commander build. I only have a 19-point commander for Commonwealth ships, but I think my build is pretty okay. I would say Haida can be played very effectively with a 10-point commander already, but obviously her strengths become even more pronounced with a high-point commander. Although Haida has virtually the same guns as Jervis and Cossack, her fire chance is only 5% by default, compared to 8% on the other destroyers, so I try to make up for this by using Pyrotechnician, but in return Haida gets 200 more alpha damage per shell. It's debatable if taking Pyro is worth it, since Haida is a very consumable dependent ship. The 2-point skill Consumables Enhancement would also be a good choice. Regardless, Liquidator is only a placeholder until I get the last 2 points on my commander with 21 points. I would definitely get rid of it and invest the remaining 3 points in Superintendent because, in my opinion, it greatly increases Haida's staying power, especially in Tier 9 games, which are quite common for Tier 7 ships these days. Regarding the upgrades, I would recommend to get Engine Boost Modification 1 and Smoke Generator Modification 1 in the 2nd and 3rd slot if you can spare the coal. Personally, I prefer the Engine Boost upgrade over the Hydro Duration upgrade in slot number 2, because Haida's Hydroacoustic Surge consumable lasts very long already, and having more uptime on your engine boost is in general more useful, because it allows you to reposition faster and to dodge more easily. So we made our way into the middle of the Epicenter just like we were supposed to. A properly played Haida is very hard to dislodge from capture zones by other DDs, especially when you are top tier. The only real threat for her are cruisers and maybe to an extent German DDs with long range Hydro. Of course, Radar is very dangerous too, but at least that's locked behind a paywall at tier 7. We run into a very enthusiastic Wispy here and we easily take care of her. However, her suicidal move made us bleed a lot of HP already, so in spite of the announcer saying off to a great start, for the first blood achievement this wasn't exactly a great start. Sure, one enemy destroyer is already gone, but trading almost 50% of your HP for a ship 2 tiers lower than you is never a good trade in my book. Fortunately, my smoke generator consumable is still running, so for now we can keep farming a little bit, but we should try to avoid further mistakes once our consumables go on cooldown. The enemy team is playing the objective really hardcore. Every single enemy ship except for the CV is within one of the 3 rings of the Epicenter. Like most players, I get really frustrated about my team not playing the objective, but on this occasion I actually prefer the positioning of my team, because my team is not clumped together in a few grid squares of the map, but actually spread out relatively evenly and should be able to get some good cross shots on the enemy fleet. The Nagato is taking the objective of the game mode too hard. Although she has an underscore sniper in her IGN, she's just running into the middle of the map and pushing me away in the process. Unfortunately, I can't aim, so I'm only hitting her deck and her turrets instead of her superstructure and get 0 damage. And for now it seems like she's getting away with that bold move. Akatsuki's torps are looking pretty good, but in the end they will all miss. However, the Nagato is about to finally attract the attention of my BBs and my CV and will start taking some serious damage in a few moments. Took my team long enough to punish that kind of reckless behavior. Under normal circumstances, a battleship this overextended should not be allowed to live for more than a few minutes, but after all, we are basically at tier 5 here, and things that shouldn't happen all the time in this kind of matchmaking environment. In spite of my team having the superior positioning, at least from my point of view, we already lost 4 ships in comparison to only 2 casualties on the enemy team. Considering my HP pool, I don't want to take any risks as long as my smoke is on cooldown, so I'm just sitting here at the edge of the middle ring. Right now the red team has 5 ships in the innermost circle and there's nothing I can do about it yet, so I'm patiently waiting for my consumables to come back online. We are about to lose another ship, but I'm confident that my torpedoes will finally finish off the Nagato, and almost at the same time the Nagato dies, the Akatsuki walks into us, conveniently only seconds before my smoke generator becomes available once again. We get the double strike, perfect timing by the Japanese DD. I'm not sure if she managed to launch torpedoes before she died though, so as a precaution I make a full U-turn in my smoke instead of stepping immediately into the middle circle. With my hydro still being on cooldown, I figure it's better to be safe than sorry, and this should really become your motto if you're planning to increase your game impact as a DD and WoWs player in general. Not that I never make mistakes myself, in all honesty I've been playing terribly the last few days regardless of the class, so I'm taking a little break from the game for now. Luckily this match occurred when my neurons were still functioning, so I can assure you there are a few more remarkable moments to come. In good old mid-tier fashion, both teams lost half their ships way before the 10-minute mark. It's hard to keep up with all the kills that are happening on both sides, but essentially the odds are now even, and I'm tempted to say the match is already in the bag. The Dunkirk is almost dead, and by the looks of it, the enemy New York decided to finally leave her island after sitting there for a couple of minutes and will be easy prey for the Akatsuki and me. Once again, I'm lingering right at the edge of the middle circle instead of going into it. In hindsight, this is a little bit infuriating to watch, but apparently I was too afraid of the possibility of the New York rushing me down in my smoke with her incredible speed. Seriously though, I think I was afraid of her possibly blind firing me, and I didn't want to make it easier for her by being even closer. Fortunately, she has no interest in shooting me and just keeps walking in a straight line. She's about to catch a torpedo by our Akatsuki, and in spite of my questionable aim, we get lucky and manage to kill her with our main guns before the flooding or someone else finishes her off. The Caracciolo on my team was pinging us. I can understand her frustration because she has a Shiratsuyu and 2 BBs right next to her. But I can't magically teleport in front of her to help her out. I didn't really pay that much attention to the Akatsuki, but I would say I did my job so far and my positioning was not too bad during this game. Nothing is stopping us from finally taking the middle cap. It's basically farming time, and I'm going to speed up the replay here until I fire my next salvo. The enemy ranger could try to reset us, but she decides to go after our Italian BB. Meanwhile, my Colorado takes up a very interesting position at J6. I didn't bother looking at her, so yeah, she could be at very low health and just wants to play it super safe, who knows. My Akatsuki will briefly spot the Shiratsuyu, but I think I was too busy setting up a proper farming position and didn't engage her on this occasion. I was looking forward to farm the ever-living out of the enemy Caracciolo, But sadly my Japanese DD companion smoked up at the same time like me, so I instantly lose vision as soon as my smoke screen is deployed. So instead I switch my attention to the Colorado, which is already really low. We are about to get a quick permafire, so maybe Pyrotechnician is paying off. The Shiratsuyu gets spotted again, and although we are almost as sloppy as before and take our sweet time to target her, we open up on her just in time to secure the almost perfect, wait for it, second double strike with the Colorado burning down as well. Kraken unleashed, 2 double strikes, a memorable moment and a funny little coincidence for sure. This definitely didn't occur to me more than a couple of times over 10,000s of games during my WoW's career, quote unquote. And yeah, I wanted to share this moment with you. The Caracciolo did turn towards us again. After all, her name is WoW's winner, and by now she probably recognized that she needs to kill my entire team to win this match and won't accomplish it by running away. Or was it maybe the torpedoes of the Akatsuki and the AP bombers of the Ryujo that forced her to come back? We will never know. There's not much left to do in this match, so let me accelerate the replay one more time. The Caracciolo gets really unlucky with her engine. After repairing it, we instantly knock it out again with one of our torpedoes. Not that it really matters, she was a sitting duck one way or another. Unfortunately, our CV gets the kill instead of me. The enemy CV also manages to kill our Akatsuki, which prolongs the match a tiny little bit, but there's still not enough time left to get my hands on the Ranger. Kinda unlucky because this could have been a 7 or 8 kill game with 6-digit damage numbers, but oh well, I think it was a good game regardless. I think it's also worth mentioning that after a rough start we managed to preserve our hit points for almost 9 minutes straight, and in this time span we got 80k damage and 5 more kills after the first blood on the Wispy. This is only made possible by the very strong set of consumables on the Haida, which makes her one of the strongest DDs, if not the strongest DD at tier 7, and for that reason I'm really looking forward to play Vampire 2, which will be released on April 23rd. Haida, however, will be removed in update 0.10.5, that's roughly 2 months from now, so make sure to get your hands on her if you haven't acquired her yet. Yep, once again Wargaming is creating artificial scarcity by removing ships that aren't even that popular. But I've just checked Haida's stats on WoW's numbers. On NA and EU, Haida's not ranking that high if you sort by all players. But if you only sort by win rate of the top 10%, Haida is number 1 or 2 on all servers apart from NA. So you can make the argument that Haida is indeed too strong and following Wargaming's logic should be removed from the game. Anyway, that's it for today guys. I hope you don't mind the low damage game too much. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, I hope to catch you next time. See you soon and take care. Today we are playing the HMCS Haida on the map Trident. It's basically farming time. Basically. The Caracciolo.
Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.